Good morning, people of YouTube. We are currently in the parking lot of Home Depot shooting another video. So this has been an ongoing issue for, honestly, for the last like 35,000 miles, but it really became a problem in the last like 1,000 miles. So long story short, when I got these rims on from Discount Tire, I had them put on the Sentury Ultra High Performance tires, which are their like in-home, from what I understand, it's their in-home like brand. And they were great tires. They're rated 40,000 miles. The first set I got 30,000 miles out of, but there was an issue when I first installed them, where I took it in 4 times in the span of 1 month to get the tires rebalanced because it kept vibrating from the front end. And finally they're like, well, we think like you might have like hit a pothole or damaged a rim, so they threw the rims, they did a rotation, threw the front rims on the rear, and the problem went away. I never rotated them after that. I left the wonky one on the rear, thinking it was a rim that I just dented or something. I don't even know. But swapping the rims made a huge difference. Oh god, oh, they're all curb rash to fuck. I let other people in the house drive the car and they like to park it weird. Anyway, so they installed the 4, never rotated them. I still had even wear on them, and at about 30,000 miles, 30,000 miles into it, I had a flat tire, took it in. They said, oh yeah, we'll exchange it, like warranty, whatever. They have a great warranty, we'll take care of it. I was like, okay, perfect. Is this hanging down? Nice. Anyway, they're like, yeah, we'll take care of it, whatever. And they exchanged it. I paid $17 to get the new same tires, to get them recertified or whatever, like a new warranty on them. And I took it out for a drive. I did the both fronts. Took it out for a drive, and lo and behold, it starts shaking. Now, I didn't initially equate the same issue to both of them. I was like, maybe I damaged something when I was like driving it, I don't know. So they put two new tires on it. I drove it around. It started shaking at highway speeds. Got it rebalanced, went away. 50 miles later, started shaking again. So, let's do a nice little half cold start. Oh yes. So, let's see if I can get you guys a good view of this. I took it to a mechanic shop, and I was like, you know, I don't know what's wrong with it, it's shaking. So we replaced, you can kind of see it, sway bar link was replaced, new CV axle thingy was replaced. It kept shaking. They thought maybe the CV axle was damaged, like, or something, so they replaced it a second time on their like dime. Oh god, hold on. Goodwill Hunting. Okay, we're in the car. It's kind of cold, that's why. So we replaced the tire, replaced tires, replaced the sway bar links, we replaced the CV axle on that side, and then even replaced the control arm, and I got nothing out of it. Balanced them again when all that stuff was done, and this is me bouncing at a different shop now. And then did an alignment, even though the car was aligned, and again did not fix the problem. It would go away for like 20-30 miles and would come back, and I thought I was crazy. So I let the mechanic keep the car for like 3 days, and he's like, he texted me on the 3rd day, he's like, I balance the tires, I drive it, it drives smooth for 20-30 miles, and then it gets off balance again. So he's like, I think it's the tires. I think the tires are junk. So I went back to Discount Tire, and they were like, okay, well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna swap the fronts with the rears, and if that's an issue, we should solve it. And I was like, okay, but if you look at my history, I brought it back to you guys a year ago like 4 times in a row because I had the same issue. And that's when I clicked. I'm like, maybe it is the junk tires. But I'm like, what are the odds that 2 sets of tires are junk, right? A year apart. Well, they're like, okay. Took it in, they drove it around. He's like, oh, I can't mimic the issue. So they balanced them again, and then I told the guy, I'm like, just come with me. And I jumped on the street because he's like, I don't want to go like 60 miles an hour on a side street. I'm like, oh, let me drive. So I floored it, and you can see it like shaking the steering wheel and stuff. So he's like, oh, okay, well, we'll take a look. Now, this is where they were nice. He ended up warrantying out, well, he didn't warranty them. He called them, he prorated them, but they only had like no miles on them, basically. They had like 1,000 miles at this point. But he prorated all 4 at 1,000 miles, not like the rear ones at 75% worn. So now we'll go back outside. Oh, my seat's so warm. The only tire they had in stock for my size was these Bravarious, I don't know, something like that. Barum 235/45/18 VXL. These are supposed to be not like ultra high performance, but they just label them as performance tires. They are on the website a step above the Sentury tires, which again, for otherwise for like traction and snow driving and summer driving, those tires were great. I have no issues with the performance. And you know, they're rated 40,000 miles. At 30,000 miles, I still was at 630 seconds. So they were great tires, aside from the shaking. So they put these tires on, and he charged me basically the difference. It was negligible, right? I think it was like under $100 to install, to swap them all 4 out and then do everything, right? Took it out for a drive. Shaking's gone. I was like, you know, it can't be the tire. I still at that point didn't think it was the tires. And I drove it in 20 miles, 30 miles, 40 miles, 50 miles, no shaking. I'm currently sitting, hold on, 2,375 miles later, no shaking. Car drives smooth as butter. It drives as smooth as it drove prior to me losing or blowing out a tire. They replaced all 4. They even put the rims that were on the rear on the front just to ensure that one of them wasn't actually damaged or dented, and no shaking. So it was the Sentury tires. And like, I'm not saying all cheap tires, because I've never heard of this brand, Bravis or whatever it is. I ran 3 sets of they're the Walmart ones. Douglas performance tires. I ran 3 sets. They all run about 30,000 miles before I need to replace them. But in those 30,000 miles, I never had an issue. When I went to Discount Tire and had them throw on a 4 set of the Sentury, they did have better dry performance. That's the only thing I noticed, was in the summer, the car was glued to the ground. So I'll give them that. No issues. And these tires I have on now, you can tell they're not as sticky, I guess, or as grippy, because the same turn that I take 4 times a day, it takes a turn at the same speed I usually take, which is I fling it around the corner, but it just squeals, which I never really had an issue. I never had tires really squealing before. By the time my tires would start squealing on the old set of Sentury tires, the rear end was ready to come around, which is good. These squeal like if I took like the Prius with the Firestone tires it has, or in a corner. You know, it'll handle a lot better, but when it starts reaching, it starts squealing. So, the issue is, between all those repairs I did on that side, I replaced tire rods and sway bar links on both sides, because just do them, why not, at the same time. And if you look at my videos, I did 30,000 miles ago again. But, total is $875 to get all that work done, thinking it was like suspension work. And it wasn't. So I'm mildly butthurt. You know, I want this car to die, kind of, a little bit. You know, it's like, you know, you want the car to die so you can get a new car, but at the same time it's still running, so you can't justify a new car. We're at 213,856. But yeah, I'm still gonna go to Discount Tire. You know, they have an excellent like warranty package, excellent customer service. I get why the guy said he couldn't mimic the problem. He didn't want to speed on the side streets with it. And that's all we were around were side streets, so I did it for him. But yeah, 2 rounds of Sentury tires and same issue a year apart. And again, it's just, you know, it's just odd, because like when I swapped the fronts to the rears, the issue went away. So it wasn't like every single tire's junk. It was whatever the one on the rear was wonky, you know, maybe I hit like a pothole and it just kind of like destroyed the tire from the inside, or the metal in the tire. I don't know. You know, you tire guys, you can tell me. I don't know. I'm just going off of, you know, 2 sets of tires. They even noticed in their system that like you came back for, in the first, you know, month, you came back for 4 or 5 alignments or balances, and then the second time around now I came by 3 times for balances by them, and my mechanic did 3 balances himself. So 6 balances on the tires. And he said that every time he did a balance, they would come off by like 0.5, 0.75 of an ounce or something right away. One of them was like a full ounce. I don't know what the measurements are, something like that. He said like 0.25 or under or some shit like that is okay. But he's like, you were at like 0.75, almost an ounce off, like whatever that means. I don't know tires like that, but I'm just giving my experience. I would say skip them. I'm not telling you, you know, you get what you pay for when you buy cheap tires, because the Douglas tires, I never had an issue with them. And they were like the same price, maybe like 10 bucks cheaper. I think the Senturys are 99 bucks now for the size, and the Douglas are like 89 bucks. So like the price is not the issue, it's just whatever they're doing with those tires. I don't know. Because these tires are like 10 bucks more side. I think like 10 or 15 bucks more side. And so far, no issue. So, yeah, I'm just sharing my experience. I'd say skip them, just squeeze out a little bit more money, go for the next step up. You don't have to go get a set of Continentals for 200 bucks a piece to be happy. Yeah, just be careful and don't, well, I don't, like, again, I don't know that, like, I know stuff about cars, but like that, like, I don't know tire stuff. So when I'm thinking that the car's shaking from the front end, I'm thinking it's tie rod, sway bar links, whatever. And you know, with the car having 213,000 miles, and I never did the control arms, I never did the CV axles, I never did any of that stuff. I thought it could have been that, but I was wrong, and I wasted almost 900 bucks on stupid shit. So yeah, learn from my mistake. Just be cautious, be wary, and try to skip the budgetiest tires. I just got my wisdom tooth pulled out, so like that's why like words are hard. My mouth's kind of swollen from the inside, but yeah, learn from my mistakes, people. Other than that, the Altima's still riding. She's still alive. She's still good. Check engine light is still intermittently on and off, but it hasn't affected drivability, so I can't complain about that. We're gonna park. Oh, we got a Silverado that double parked. Fucking loser. Fucking bum. Oh, I have a Silverado. I'm gonna fucking double park. Sorry guys, I get triggered sometimes. But yeah, have a good day, guys.